very little time to actually read where do you actually come from and all that, but where do you actually hail from?
Minnesota.
Minnesota?
Uptown, Minnesota.
And where are you still living there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you started at the age of 19, right? When you put your first albums together for Warner's.
No, I was supposed to be 18, but I was 17.
You were 17? Yeah. Was it difficult for you to actually get a deal with Warner's at that age?
It was difficult for me to produce my album at that age. They didn't want me to produce my own records for that reason. I thought I was young and inexperienced. So they got an executive producer on my first album.
This was for you, right? And but the role that the executive producer had was just to supervise the whole thing.
Well, he was supposed to help out and help me cut corners and things like that. And basically teach me the studio, but he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a long time to do the album. It's pretty painstaking.
Now, did you actually have a lot of material for the album already prepared, let's say from way back, or did you have to compose it there and then?
Most of it was pretty old stuff.
Mm-hmm. What was, let's say, the strength of making a very strong debut album as such? Did you require, there it was, like your first album, you've got to make like the strong impact sort of thing. You were obviously nervous about the fact. How nervous were you?
Very. I'm not really nervous as much as I wanted to make it good. And thereafter mistakes, and in the process it took a long time to make. And probably why I don't listen to it anymore. For that reason.
You don't listen to it?
No. It was a perfect record. And it was too scientific, I guess.
How did you feel actually when you had to go and talk to all those, big man cigars, Century City, those sort of Burbank, how did you feel coming from Minnesota?
I feel the same way when I have things I did. A little strange. I got misquoted a lot, and a lot of people just didn't believe me. They thought I was either a fixation of someone's publicity stunts, or I was just a big liar or something. And I don't know, I had to deal with a lot of psychiatrists, so to speak.
In what way were they saying that you were a liar?
Well, I don't know. One thing, they don't believe this is my real name. Another thing, they don't believe the clothes I wear. They think I'm doing it to gain attention or something like that.
Now, I must jump from that to a track called Uptown on your album. Now, that, I presume, is pure autobiographical, am I right?
Yeah.
Is it actually your stuff all based on experiences?
The new album is, yeah.
Right, the Dirty Mind album. Now, on Uptown, it's quite disturbing that you had to go through what you had. In other words, you've described that you always wanted to be up there, and there's a good life and Uptown. Is that literally how it was?
No, Uptown's more or less a state of mind, and it has nothing to do with financial status. It all has to do with how free you are inside. and how good you feel about yourself and how strongly you feel about yourself, and what you stand for, your beliefs. And that's what that was about. It's like me and my group and other people like us that we hang around, we get a lot of slack for the way we dress and stuff like that. And the first impression they get is that we're gay. That's what they usually do when they don't understand something. People where I come from, they usually just write it off as being gay or something like that. And it was saying that our clothes and the way we act and things we say and our ways of doing things have not that,
Society doesn't tell us the way to dress, right?
Don't judge a book. It's just saying that.
I mean, do you actually get people coming up to you and asking you about your sexual inclinations?
All the time. Mm-hmm.
But if so, that's perhaps why they were taking you as a liar, maybe, because they saw the way you dress and they thought he can't be right.
Mm.
How long did it take you to have to prove to all those people that you were what you were?
Mm. I don't think they understand yet. I think if they look at me long enough, they'll get the picture.
Now, were you influenced by what goes on around in Minnesota about your appearance and how you wanted to grow up and be like?
I'm sure to some extent. What it was that I had a lot of free-minded friends who were into individuality, and you were ridiculed often for copying people and picking up trends and wearing what everybody else had on and saying what everybody else said and playing the same kind of music as everybody. So what happened is a great deal of competition grew out of it, and you sort of competed with the other musicians and the other artists around town. And through that, I guess you come up with your own little clique.
Now, I've never read so many biographies which have used so many adjectives in describing you, comparing you to many people and things like that. I mean, one of them, I don't know, that made me laugh. He said, Prez has got a bit of something funk and a bit of the plasmatics. I wish they obviously trying to put a picture onto you. You have also been described as outrageous, but how do you yourself see yourself?
I never had to answer that question. I don't think I really look. I don't think. One thing I try to do is analyze myself. I just do something that feels right, whether it's musical or physical or whatever. I don't plan things. I don't take time to think about things. I just do them. Sometimes I reflect afterwards. Sometimes I don't. I'm always looking for new outlets and new highs, I guess.
Has there been moments, let's say, after a gig and you say, geez, I was wild there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one time I saw a videotape of one of our concerts, and I didn't believe that was really me, so I don't watch them so much anymore.
Do you actually, I mean, you've started, what I was reading is that you've started as a musician, or playing instruments here and there at a very early age, and your parents come from a jazz background, right? Did it affect you at all? Did it affect your upbringing Because I believe you actually left home at a very early age as well.
Yeah, it didn't affect me in any way, I don't think, because my father left when I was 7, and he was really the only one that was really musical. My mother sang for him, but she sang lead in the band, but she was, she wasn't that good. She only lasted a month with him, and he got somebody else. And when he left, that's when I picked up the piano, because he didn't allow anyone to play it when he lived there. So I don't think it affected me too much. If anything, my mother disliked the fact that I played, because I was a lot like him, and that's what broke them apart. And that's eventually what broke me and my mother apart too. I left home when I was 12, and that was after she remarried, and that's when I started my own band.
So music was the thing what broke you up?
No, I'm sure it was. And the fact that I wanted to do what I wanted to do. She disliked some of the lyrics I wrote and things like that.
Did your lyrics then reflect what you are doing today as well?
Yeah, probably more so than now.
Did she perhaps imagine that you maybe just end up playing some sleazy jazz bar downtown?
Mm-hmm. Just like my father.
What do you, I mean, if you look at that, you're playing to a different audiences now. You're not playing to, the blues. I mean, when I say the blues, I mean those type of, crowded piano, jingle-jangle thing. But how do you view those things? How do you view those places? Because I think they're remarkable.
I don't know. When I used to play them, I liked them. Because, I guess basically because I was disregarded, I suppose. I mean, people didn't pay much attention when we used to have to play. The only times I got any recognition was when I was real young and I went in a joint and played for people. But I think they're alright. I think they serve their purpose.
Now, was that when you, when you're playing those bars, was it when you had the band called Champagne?
Yeah.
So what did Champagne consist of? What music were you playing?
Top 40.
Top 40 style.
We were a human walking jukebox.
Otherwise you won't be accepted, right?
Right. It was pretty sickening.
A hard life. Did you, we'll talk about the lyrics a bit later on, but, well, first of all, how do you look at your lyrics? Are they filthy, outrageous, dirty, as people say, or do you see them as clean, nice sex,
I think, I don't think sex is dirty at all.
No, this is right.
I think it can be described as anything, just as soccer or something like that can be described. I see people fall around in the mud and stuff like that, It's funny, but I don't know, I think society places a lot of emphasis on adjectives too much. I should just concentrate basically on the equal sign, what they get after it's all over.
I think somebody said the other day that, I can't remember who the hell it was, but he said that the world is totally obsessed with sex, but they're very afraid to admit that they like it.
Oh yeah, very much so.
But then they attack a person like you for writing, say, lyrics like Head, for example, which is, you can't get more simpler than that.
Yeah. Well, I think anybody that breaks out of the norm is going to get attacked anyway. I get attacked for the clothes I wear. Anything different, they're going to go after you anyway. I guess maybe to some degree I must crave that deep down.
Where do you think you've picked up all that from? From the clubs, or the things that you write about, the sexual thing, or the badness, maybe?
I've always written real explicit, and I've always said what was on my mind. Sex was always most interesting to me because it dealt more with human life than anything. The reproductive process and the whole idea of it, the fact that people lose their cool behind it is enough to write about to me. When I was young, I used to read my mother's dirty books that she had hidden in her bedroom. That was after my father left. I always rambled through her things. And when I got sick of reading those, when I was done with them, I would write my own. So I think that sort of carried on in the rest of my writing.
Have you reconciled with your family?
Have I what?
Reconciled? Have you gone back?
No.
So as far as you and they are concerned, you don't exist, or they don't exist?
No, I won't say that. I mean, I don't consider them dead, but we don't talk too much.
Now, when you left home, you went to your aunt, didn't you? Or you went to a friend?
I went to a lot of different places. Aunts and friends and more friends and then homes and stuff.
And I was reading a very interesting thing in your biographies when you went to, I think, one of your friends, where you were really scared about what you were doing. And it says, the biography says that the person told you, is that girl still down there or something like that, and after she leaves, just lock the door, and you felt freedom from then on. Is that literally the time when you said, I can do what I like?
Basically, yeah. Well, I was a little older then, and I realized that I had been on my own for a long time, and I really wasn't. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that I was on my own, but I didn't know it. You know, it's like I was alone, but I guess I didn't realize it up until that point. When she said that, I realized that I was growing older and I was an adult. You know, and from then on, I did what I wanted to.
What are actually your roots? I mean, you are not a black American, the black American. Where do you actually come from? I mean, your roots come from?
Well, my father's black and part Italian, and my mother's Italian with something else in it. I don't know. And that's basically it.
Is it known publicly, your surname, or you don't reveal that?
I think it might be known. Probably at home. My real name is Prince. That was my dad's name. My last name is pretty sickening, so I don't use it.
Okay. Now, when you had, let's say, to present your show on stage and things like that, you obviously had thousands of eyes on you, people saying, well, let's see what he's like. And people were comparing you to, comparing your vocals to Smokey Robinson, Curtis Mayfield and all that. And your appearances, perhaps the moustache and the hair, like to Hendrix and a bit here and there, you know. How do you react to that?
I just like...
I mean, they're nice people. I mean, Hendrix was great. Smokey is great. You just like it, though.
Yeah, because I don't know, that was all that stuff was before my time. I guess Smokey's still making records, but when they were going on, they were before my time, and I didn't listen to that kind of music. I only played the music that was big during that time because I had to, which made me dislike it a great deal because it was a boundary. So I didn't I didn't listen to those people, and it's upsetting when I get compared to them. I think I dislike anything that's pure, so to speak, and can be categorized.
Like pure jazz, pure blues.
I like to. I just like to play everything. I'd rather do a combination of things rather than anything pure. I don't like anything pure, no.
So you'd be happy with the tag that they put on you as soul, funk, jazz, disco, punk?
Well, I'm not happy with any tag, but that's a better one than just Smokey Robinson's son.
You sing in a falsetto.
Out of necessity.
Out of necessity?
It hurts to sing in a low voice. My natural singing voice is a falsetto.
Are there any actually people that you admire?
As singers?
As singers, yes.
Not singers. I admire speakers more so than I do singers.
Speakers?
They play better music.
Like who, for example?
Oh, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King. People like that. They could move a crowd of people a lot better than any singer could. They spoke with a lot of emotion. There's a lot of people that are good speakers, but
I think Nixon was a good speaker, isn't it?
oh yeah. He tricked a lot of them.
One of the best.
Deceitful musician.